Drink Stateside Vodka. Follow us on Instagram. No, we're not on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter.
That's the only social media you could have done any other social media.
I love that. There's our intro, ladies and gentlemen.
Follow us on Instagram.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things.
I got 2 phones.
Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
Welcome to episode 40-something. Vince did not put it up on the screen of what number it is. Apparently he did. I don't see it. 46. Episode 46 of Birds vs. Boys. We are officially into the offseason. The drama is swirling. Free agency names are all over the place, leading the way. J.J. Watt after being cut. But we have a ton to talk about as pertains to the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the entire league. So thank you for listening. And as always, KMS here with you. And somewhere around, my friend, Carson Wentz's friend, your friend, Aidan Powers. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm here during these crazy times. There's a lot going on, like you said, in the offseason, but also like in the world outside of our little bubble where it's just football all the time. Mm-hmm. So we got a lot going on. Power outages all over. Got crazy weather as we record. It's probably going to get crazy here soon. So we were supposed to have Quincy Carter tonight, but he lives in Texas where they are just without power forever. But I'll tell you what, I'm all footballed up. So he's going to be on next week. We actually have like a full slate of guests coming for the next few weeks. Yep. So it's going to be pretty big time these next few weeks.
Always happen with us. We go on like runs with big guests.
That's how, we hit. It's like in sales. You hit a big streak and you just go and go and go. And then it'll be dry for a while. Then, you have a big sales pitch and sales streak.
Yeah,
so
better figure that out, just so you know.
Yeah, Mr. Life Insurance. If you need life insurance, this podcast can pick it up. If you need vodka or life insurance, you come see us. But anyway, so power outages in Texas.
Ice, snow, death.
I am everything. They weren't ready. Whatever. And so we don't have our guest as planned because he doesn't have power like many people. I'm going to carry us because I am so footballed up. I'm so ready for the draft. I'm ready for more football, and it just ended 2 weeks ago. Because of these power outages, my company, which is a nationwide company, not a single office has access to the internet. The company internet is out. So everything is done. No matter the office, no matter what you have to do, everything is out. So I just sit there watching college football games on YouTube. No joke. Like there's nothing I can do. People can call into me and be like, "Hey, I can't get this thing to work," and I can be like, "Hey, I can't get this thing to work either," because every system is down. The entire network within the company is down. So I've been watching college football nonstop for 3 days. I am fired up and ready to go.
Beyond envious of you.
It's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I wish this happened all the time. Not that I don't want people to freeze to death, but I just want someone in IT to screw up next time so we don't have power for 3 days.
I don't want people to freeze to death either, but welcome to the world, Texas. Welcome to the Northeast. Maybe just living our lives a little bit. Just see what it's like. Okay. I lost power a couple of times in snowstorms for days. Survived. We're here.
Got to be ready for anything. Any football coach will tell you, got to be ready for any scenario, any circumstance, whatever it may be. Texas, come on. We got some big programs. You got to be ready for this stuff. We got climate change. Who knows? You could get hit with a volcano next week. Who knows at this point?
If I'm a football coach in Texas, the kids are outside running in the snow right now. Listen, you never know. Might snow in the fall. It's 2021. We don't know what's coming in the fall. What the heck just happened to my voice?
Steve Sarkisian, you're new at Texas. You want to get everybody on board. There better be spring practice this week. I don't want to hear any excuses. You don't need power for the boys to put pads on.
Can you imagine just a world? Actually, I can imagine this now in the world we've been living in the last year with like the Red River rivalry is happening in Texas and it's snowing, Oklahoma, Texas, and they're just getting dumped on with snow in that game.
I think that would be awesome. I think
It
their
would be.
colors play well into like a snow scheme. You know?
I don't think
I don't know.
anyone would know what to do. No one would know what to do.
No. And it's like perfect because at that stadium, it's such aesthetically pleasing where it's split in half at the Cotton Bowl with the crowd, similar to the Rose Bowl. Add a little snow into that mix. That'd be awesome.
All in. I'm all in.
It'd be great. But for now, they're without power. My company is without power. All I've done is watch college football tapes. I'm so mock draft out of my mind, and we have a long way until April. I've watched so many games. Today, I was watching Alabama LSU from 2019.
Ooh. Did you have fun with it?
I did have fun. It's fun to look back. I think all of us are going to look back at that game and say, in terms of talent, that was one of the most talented fields of all time with that game. Just watching who was out there. And a few things that stuck out to me were, one, that LSU team is one of the greatest teams of all time. Well, at least on offense.
Hands down.
It's the best receiver combination between teams probably ever in any football game of all time. And to add to that, and we're going to get into top 5 players we want our team to draft, Jamar Chase was the best receiver on the field. And I don't even think it was particularly close. And it's not that other receivers played bad. He just dominated.
I was just going to ask you, Surtain?
Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon Diggs, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I'll take, look, if that matchup goes the way it went in that game for the next 10 years, I will not complain.
Was Henry Ruggs in that game?
He was. Didn't
so he was
see him
like
make
the
a catch.
7th receiver.
Yeah. It was Devontae Smith caught a touchdown. Jalen Waddle had a punt return for a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy was in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Ruggs, as we talked about, was the 4th best receiver on the field. Justin Jefferson made some plays. Remember that guy? Clyde Edwards-Helaire was unreal, and so was Najee Harris.
Just, I would love if we could bring that LSU team back and play against this year's Alabama team.
Yeah. The only reason I would give the upper hand to LSU, not to go too far down the college rabbit hole, but it does pertain to NFL because of we need some of these guys on our team. I would give the upper hand to LSU because I think there were a lot of similarities between the Alabama roster in 2019 and 2020. So it's like they just ran the same team back.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Transitioning back to the NFL here. A lot going on with the Philadelphia Eagles and their quarterback situation. So I'm assuming this is where you would like to begin. Or maybe not like to, but have to.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think have to is a better term for it. Yeah, I mean, would I like to talk about the franchise flushing away a franchise quarterback? No, but we can't avoid it. It's an unavoidable elephant in the room at this point.
It just seems like every single day, it's like something new, a new wrinkle, a new, nope. It's like everything's culminates and then nothing happens every day. It's like it's like one of those guys that hits the hammer. He's a big, strong fucking guy, and he's at the fair, and he grabs the hammer, and he's like, you're like, oh my God, this dude's gonna fucking hit the thing, and he hits it, and it just goes, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, but then a little guy comes over and hits it, and it goes all the way up. I don't know what to expect anymore.
Yeah, it's the Kevin Hart skit where the real muscular guy at the gym puts 4 plates on each side to do the bench press. He slaps his chest. He puts the chalk on. He's stretching out. He's stretching his neck. He's flexing his biceps. He gets down. He checks his out, spots it, makes sure it's good, and then never does a rep. That's just exactly what's happening here. We're doing all this stuff, but we're never actually making the trade. Nothing's actually happening. And you know what it is? It's the media. Everyone has to have a say in what's going on so that people will pay attention to them. Every single person has a thought about who they know. They heard from so-and-so, who heard from so-and-so, who heard from so-and-so's cousin that Carson Wentz wants to do this and the team wants to do this. And everyone has to have their take. So we get all this nonsense out there that we have to swim through.
Yeah. It's the day and age we live in with social media and Twitter. Like, it doesn't even matter about being right anymore. It's just about throwing something out there, and if it sticks, good for you. You're going to gain some followers and some clout.
And just exactly. And just leapfrogging on other people's takes.
There's some accounts out there. There's the one in Philadelphia who's getting clowned on. I clowned on it today, where he like posted a like fake screenshot of a text message thing, and he has the name as Shefty. Did you see that?
No.
Vin Fosh, NBA. This guy.
Oh my God, he's the worst. He's legitimately the worst.
So he tweeted today, and this pertains to exactly what we're saying about like the whole thing with Carson Wentz. And then he said, breaking news, the Chicago Bears have officially made a trade offer for Carson Wentz. Details: Chicago receiver receives Wentz and Andre Dillard. Philadelphia receives Anthony Miller and the 52nd pick in the draft. And then he immediately changed it to Allen Robinson like 2 minutes later. And then he put out this fake screenshot where they got, Shefty. Just read that.
I love how he's texting himself.
Yes.
And is just going like, seems like a light offer. What more would you give up? As if Adam Schefter was going to text him and ask for his opinion on what the Chicago freaking Bears would do.
This is exactly what we're talking about right here on the screen if you are watching. And I tagged Adam Schefter. I was like, please just dunk on this dude. I was just wishing he would. Like, I mean, the balls. Like, can you imagine being that much of a loser? I can't. I mean, I'm a loser, but I can't imagine being that big of a loser.
Shefty in that contact is not Adam Schefter. It's the bouncer at a local corner dive bar.
Yes. Or it's his girlfriend. Can I borrow your phone real quick?
Yeah, can I borrow your phone to text myself so people on the internet will like me?
Oh my God, what a loser. But back to your point. This I just wanted to reiterate, this is exactly what the hell is happening. Everybody's an insider. I mean, we are. I mean, this podcast is just unbelievable. So, I mean, we're not part of that.
I think, yeah, exactly. So you're right. Everyone has a take about where this and that. Now, the big take is that people actually do believe that Chicago is a player and Wentz is holding it up. That's like the big report this week. So they are the most interested team and Wentz is the least interested in them. So that's what people are running with. Again, we don't even know if that's true, but Vince responded to the tweet as well with just the word dumb. But yeah, so that's what's going on this week is the rumor. Again, no one talks to Carson Wentz. No one has real connections in the Chicago front office here in Philadelphia. They're just assuming that, I'm going to bring this up in a second, Vince, but people are assuming that Chicago has the best offer. Wentz doesn't want to go there. That's holding it up. So that's the big story this week. I will give Big Cat a shout out. Vince pulled the tweet up. He says, as a Chicago fan, he goes, I now want Carson Wentz on the Bears just because he doesn't want to be on the Bears. Fuck that dude. You're not better than this dumpster fire in her organization, jerk. I think that's hilarious.
It's perfect.
You're going to be miserable with the rest of us, and you're going to like it.
Go into that same thing. Did you see E-Rock's tweet today? Our guy, shout out E-Rock.
No.
He tweeted, as an Eagles fan, I don't want Carson Wentz dictating where he wants to go for a lesser value to the team. But as a man, if my girlfriend dumped me for a younger dude, she can't force me to rebound with a 4, not when a solid 8.5 wants me to. Fuck you, and I'm taking the dog. So I get it.
That's a great analogy.
Right?
That's fantastic. That's exactly what it is. And I forget his last name. Capita. I might be saying it wrong. Capita. Sorry. Don't know how to say
Capita. I say
anyway,
Capata.
Of the Athletic. He's very good. I just butchered his name though. He was like, people are mad at Carson Wentz for holding this up, which he can't. He doesn't have a no trade clause. You could just unload him at any time. It doesn't matter.
Just
like he has a contract. Yeah, he has a contract that he cannot get out of, and he doesn't have a no trade clause. Anyway, he was saying the same kind of things, but with a less funny analogy. He's like, yeah, he's going to dictate he wants to go to the Colts. Why should he care It's the better option of the two. And why should he give a fuck what the return is for him for the Eagles? Like, he's not going to consult with Howie Roseman. Howie's going to be like, well, I got 2 wins from the Bears. What's Wentz going to say? I don't give a shit. Like, how does that help me?
Just get me the fuck out of here. Yeah, actually, that hurts me. The team I'm going to giving away the most, that hurts me going to that team.
Right? Yeah. Chicago, who needs more pieces to get there than Indianapolis. Here we go. Carson Wentz should 100% prefer Indy. Career hangs in the balance after a terrible 2020. Colts offer stability. Head coach you trust. Strong offensive line. Bear staff has shown no ability to find answers on offense. Head coach and GM fighting for their jobs. What Eagles get back is irrelevant if you're Wentz. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're Carson, who cares? It does not matter.
People will be like, oh, well, if I get traded, I want to be traded for a lot because then that makes no, fuck you. If I'm getting traded and I'm a starting quarterback, trade me for a 7th. That means the team I'm going to is only giving up a 7th round pick and they still have the 1st round picks to pick. And that's going to help me.
That's going to help me. Exactly. And the other thing is I love the shut up and dribble crowd. I know that analogy plays for the NBA, but it plays here too. The shut up and dribble crowd who's like, well, poor Carson Wentz who makes millions of dollars dictating where he wants to go. Like, yeah, most people like to enjoy showing up to work every day. So when you apply to jobs or you're like, well, yeah, but this place needs me. I'd hate working there. I wouldn't like my coworkers. My boss isn't very good, but I'll just do it because they need me. Or would you go to the place where you'd like the work environment? Like, this is so dumb.
Like, I'm working at Dunder Mifflin. I'm not working at Michael Scott Paper Company, even though I probably would work there too.
It'd be a great work environment.
I just, people just get too involved with this shit and they have no sense of reality.
You brought it up earlier. It's the age of social media where everything needs to be done within 5 minutes. And Adam Schefter tweeted out before the Super Bowl, this trade is imminent. It should be done in the next few days. Now it's not. So everyone's freaking out. And every day they come up with a new rumor. And it's hilarious that the one guy who doesn't talk about it is the biggest villain. And the one person who's actually responsible for all this skates by once more, the fucking rat upstairs. Like, I cannot stand it.
How?
I don't know. And here's the other report. Let's get into this next one before we get into the Cowboys stuff and then in the league. So a lot of reports from scouts that the Eagles could be looking at quarterback at 6. So
quarterback factory, baby.
The quarterback factory is back. It's cooking, man.
I mean, if you're Jalen Hurts right now, are you just like, what? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck do I have to do right now?
I mean,
like, I got the one dude out of here successfully. I'm getting him out of here, but now you're gonna, draft Justin Fields.
I would prefer Zach Wilson, but I don't know. But yeah, it's just like, if you're Hurts, what would you even say? What I would say is, well, how the turntables turn, sir. You were brought in and kicked this other guy to the curb, and then they immediately kicked you to the curb. But that's my whole point with this front office. If they take another quarterback at 6, is it the wrong move? No, not necessarily, but it's hard to trust that move when in 2019 they sold themselves on Carson Wentz and gave him $100+ million. And then a year later, they used the 2nd round pick on Jalen Hurts and it eventually made him the starter and most likely the starter for the future. And then if they take a quarterback at 6 this year in 2021, so now you've sold yourself on a quarterback each year. They're just the friend who keeps getting in these toxic relationships and saying, but this time it'll be different. And then plunging in with another person. You just can't trust this person if you keep going after quarterbacks. They're not proving that they can evaluate talent if they're giving up on Jalen Hurts already. And the franchise quarterback they gave so much up for in Wentz is out the door.
It's almost like the Eagles are like on The Bachelor and they just have these roses and they have to just hand them out. There's just quarterbacks and they're just like, oh, here, you want to come to me? Oh, here you go. I love it. I love every second of it because I want a quarterback factory. I don't want you to build the team. I don't want to build them to build like a good defensive team like Tampa did or like who wins the Super Bowl first in this division next? Realistically, who do you think the next team in this division will win a Super Bowl is?
None of them.
Ever again.
No.
I think the Giants as well. I just have a weird feeling.
You think Daniel Jones can win a Super Bowl?
No. I'm not saying that, but I just feel like Joe Judge is going to build something there. I feel like I don't know why.
I was sold on him,
Not
and
the
now
next
I
2 years.
despise his guts.
Oh, yes, you do.
He's a loser. He'll never win a guy who's bitching about being 6-10 and not making the playoffs will not win a Super Bowl because you are a loser. That is a loser mentality. You won 6 games. You didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. No chance. Also, Daniel Jones, I can't see winning a Super Bowl. And also, they're going to have to make a decision on Saquon Barkley really soon. Do you want to pour a bunch of money into running back, which never works? So you cannot make a strong case for the next 5 years for any of these teams.
It works.
Yeah. How'd that turn out for you? How's Jalen Ramsey doing? I almost said St. Louis, Los Angeles.
Yeah, I still always go back to the pick was the right pick because they were drafting Zeke for Tony Romo to extend his career. The pick was the right pick. It's just the extension and beyond that. I mean, when you have Zeke on the field and he's just, plugging away, and then you put Pollard on the field and you just anybody with a brain and maybe even one eye can just see the explosive difference.
Yeah, it was shocking, to be honest with you. Didn't see that coming this year, but we didn't see a lot of the things coming that happened.
Yeah, no. I mean, I could see why. Let's see what kind of if they get a quarterback in Washington, what Riverboat Ron can do eventually.
That's my thing. I think you're right. Washington has the most pieces where you could be like, okay, I can see it, but they don't have the most important piece, which is quarterback. So it depends on if they can land that guy.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I mean, Russell Wilson, it basically came out like that he's not going anywhere. So I feel like everybody can take him off their little, I want him to be like me. Because I
like all of us.
I was ready for Russ. But my quarterback, well, I guess can I even claim him my quarterback right now?
You might as well while you can.
Yeah, because technically, well, I guess, yes, technically he's still under the franchise tag until the league year ends, correct?
Yeah.
So he is on the team. Still the Cowboys quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But all reports in this realm, again, the Cowboys and Eagles are mirroring themselves like they did on the field with horrible play and injuries. Now it's quarterback offseason drama. So once again, mirroring each other, they have become the Spider-Man meme where they just point at each other. Dak Prescott. It seems that there has been no long-term agreement that's even close. Like, they're not even close. So it's the real question. Does Jerry really want him there? There's now the questions of the second surgery on his ankle. Is he going to be ready for training camp? Is he going to be ready for the start of the season now is in question. There was a picture of him on the beach with his girlfriend, possibly fiance. It looked like she had a ring. Maybe.
I know. I saw that. It looked like a little action on the finger.
She gets a ring before he does.
Oh.
His ankle, I mean, he wasn't in a boot or anything. He didn't have crutches, so he was standing there in the sand. But I don't know what to think anymore. He's going to be on the Cowboys this year because it does not make any sense for them just to let him walk away. I don't think. The only way I don't see him on the Cowboys this year, I feel like, is a tag and trade.
I think it would be tough for another team to really want to do that coming off an ankle. I think he'll be on the Cowboys just because it would be really tough for another team to pull the trigger and commit long term to a guy with that type of injury. That would be the only thing that hold me back. And even I can see the Chicago Bears still doing it. Yeah,
because I mean, he would not be able to pass a physical today. Just wouldn't be able to happen.
No. Which, exactly. How do you do a trade for a guy? Like you said, he might not be ready for week 1. You're investing long-term into a guy you won't see until training camp at the earliest. That's tough. That's really tough. Did you want to bring up the thing from Get Up where they were just get rid of, sign and trade him anyway?
Mike Greenberg, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I have my consumption of ESPN has just gone from little to nothing basically.
They are terrible. Let's just get that out there. Full disclaimer, we're bringing this up because in this scenario, it's a good talking point. So 99% else of what they say, I cannot believe they let these shows air.
All of them. What
Who
happened?
watches this?
I don't know. I used to sit when I was growing up, especially on a snow day, we're going to have maybe today while you're listening, or when I would watch Sports Center all day, and the same Sports Center, and it was phenomenal. Guys like Boomer and Stuart Scott, they built that company, and it has just become talking heads that like to yell at each other. And every day's the same. It's Groundhog fucking Day on ESPN every goddamn day. It's LeBron, the Cowboys, and throw in one more fucking topic.
They talk about Carson Wentz all the time. And then on Fridays during college football season, they bring Paul Feinbaum in to talk about how Alabama is better than everybody else. And they're just, why are 100 other FBS teams even playing? And that's their shtick. It's just nauseating to listen to. It's just hot take BS.
I'm so over it. But yeah, on Get Up, I don't think I've never sat through an entire episode of that. I've maybe honestly consumed 17 minutes total in my life since Get Up has been on. Total 17 minutes. Mike Greenberg said, realistically, the best they can do, speaking of the Cowboys, is to sign and trade him, speaking of Dak, and rebuild, because even with him, they're a bad team. I mean,
sounds like somebody I know.
Again, the meme.
Spider-Man meme. We've formed together. We have formed one podcast, so both of our teams have just formed one team with the same issues. One bad team.
You think if the Cowboys and Eagles came together with their best players of each teams that they could compete?
I was literally just thinking that. As you said, I was like, do we win a playoff game if we just combine our teams? I don't know that we do. I really don't know that we do. The defense, I don't know. I mean, we don't win a Super Bowl.
No. That's
I don't think we're better than the Chiefs.
No. Or Tampa.
Well, definitely not Tampa. I don't know if we beat the Packers either.
Oh, my God.
I really don't know. I think we'd win the NFC East.
Yes. And maybe a playoff game. Maybe they beat Minnesota or something.
Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, God. Not if Carson's there.
Not if Carson or Dak end up there, baby.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Blake Jarwin put out an Instagram post this week with a picture of him hugging Dak, saying, time to run it back this year. And then Dak, quote, IG'd it or whatever, shared his story and was like, that's the only way I see it. Is that the only way Jerry sees it? Or Steven sees it? I don't know.
It's the Cowboys do this all the time. It's going to come down to the last minute, and then magically a deal is going to work out. And we're going to have talked about it for 3 weeks, just like Jerry Jones wanted us to. And then all of a sudden, magically, Dak Prescott will be back. What a shock.
I mean, he's coming back. He's going to be a Dallas Cowboy this season. Is it going to be on a long-term deal? I don't know. I really don't know. I could see this heading for Kirk Cousins territory. I really could.
Franchise tag. Yeah.
And then he walks. Because they're not going to franchise him a third time, because then that would be I think close to $50 million for a year. So I mean, that's not going to happen.
It keeps going up, so it's not, it's not beneficial financially at that point. Just commit the money. If you would have committed if you franchise them 3 times, you might as well just committed at the beginning. You'd already be 3 years into the contract, and it would end up being less money.
And the issue still is also years. Dak wants 4, they want 5. It's just what if we go right in the middle, 4.5? If you're not playing well in the last year of your deal, you get cut at the 8th game.
Yeah. Jerry Jones Natural Gas Company hits jackpot as Texas freeze drives up prices. Sounds like the most Jerry Jones headline that I've ever seen.
Oh God, he'll be on the radio. Sometimes gas cut goes up, and there freezes and stuff happens, and go Cowboys.
He's got more
Those are-
important things to worry about than the quarterback of his football team.
Yeah. I don't think he's cared much about winning since he won with Barry Switzer. It's just been all about nickels and dimes, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Nickels and dimes.
Making the brand what it is.
Is this the same team plus CD? Oh,
It's
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
At least the Eagles would have CD if we did this team combination. Did you want to talk about veering off from our quarterbacks? The only other quarterback I think worth mentioning tonight is Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
Because I don't know, it might feel like to me that's the domino that has to fall before our dominoes would ever fall. If one
You
of
think
our,
it's gonna fall?
I mean, Deshaun Watson? Yeah.
You think he's going to
He flat out won't play for the team, so it has to fall.
You think he sits the year out if they hold their ground?
I think it plays out the same exact way as it played out with James Harden in Houston, where he didn't want to be there. He showed up late. Once he got there, he didn't care. He made it known the entire time he did not want to be there. He's like, I'm here, barely. And it eventually was just got fed up, and they had no choice but to trade him. I think Deshaun Watson does not want to play for this team. If they have OTAs, I doubt that he would show up. I doubt that he's going to care about offseason workouts. He's not going to host his receivers like a lot of these quarterbacks do for training outside of the facility. He's
Jalen
going to
Hurts
make
in
it.
Texas with the young Eagles receivers.
That would make it very hilarious if they drafted Zach Wilson after. Come on down to Texas. Now go out to Utah and hang out with Zach Wilson. Go hang out with Justin Fields.
Oh, God.
Oh, by the way, we never traded Carson. Go back to Houston and hang out with him.
Have fun.
Have fun. Also, just like catch a ball from any of these guys, please.
So,
but no, Deshaun, I think, will make it impossible for them to keep him. And I don't blame him. I'm just saying how I think it'll be.
what do you think they get for him?
3 first-round picks.
3?
I think 3. I think somebody will cave. No, nobody's worth 3 first-round picks.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I think he's good, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. He was 4-12 this year. Yeah, the team sucks, but if you're a bona fide Hall of Famer, I don't know. He didn't look great. He made a lot of bad decisions in big spots this year too. He was bad in that playoff game against the Bills last year. I don't know. To me, he's not worth 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Carolina, maybe you think about pulling the trigger. It would be tough for them just because of the contract they gave out to Teddy Bridgewater. We talked about that with Wentz. They're on the hook for $17 million with him, so he'd have to be going back in the deal. So maybe you tell the Texans, like, here's 2 first rounds. We'll give you a player and take Teddy as well to make the money work. I think that'd be the most realistic one instead of 3 first-round picks. 2 firsts, a player who's adequate, and then a salary cap filler.
I would feel so bad for Teddy Bridgewater if he goes and has to finish his career in that godforsaken franchise.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have to. He's out of the contract after this year, so he could cash $17 million playing for them and then go somewhere else. Maybe like do the backup role like he did in New Orleans, but where it's somewhere where like you could compete, something like that. Go anywhere, maybe back up Tom, and then after Tom's done, you get another chance at a starting job. I don't know. I'm just spitballing for Teddy Bridgewater, even though he's still a member of the Panthers.
All right, so tell me where you think Deshaun's going to go and where you would like him to go. Because I know where I would like him to go. And I'm not saying the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think it'll be there. It's a good question. I'd say 49ers are a dark horse because that's still a really good team. They have a great front office, so they're not going to bet the farm. Like they're not going to give up the farm for Deshaun, so I don't know if it'll make sense. A team where I could see them giving a little bit more to get to where they're going is Carolina.
Mm-hmm. And apparently they're all in. Their owner, it's 2 years now that he's on the team. I was listening on the radio today to Christopher Mad Dog Russo, and they were saying that the owner really wants to make a splash, and turn Carolina into a bona fide NFL town, NFL city, and he wants to start with a quarterback. So he's apparently willing to give up almost anything and everything. There was even rumors of sending Christian McCaffrey back. God, please don't do that.
That wouldn't make a lot. It just wouldn't make sense. Yeah,
no sense.
But they did call on Stafford and they did call on Wentz, so it would not shock me if they also called on Watson.
That would not shock me as well. Where I think he may end up and where I do want to see him end up is Miami. I would love to see him down there playing for Brian Flores and that team that is on the up and up. And I think they would just be fun if they got him down there.
Two things. One, that's a good call by you because I know he kind of wants to go there. Two, like I said, I'm watching college football. I watched that LSU Alabama game. Are we sure that Tua is good? Like, are we sure, or is it just one of those things we just decided that he was good?
I think it was all decided just in that national championship where he came in the second half and like we saw a left-handed quarterback and he spun the ball really nice and then he came back and won the game and everyone's like, this is it. This is the guy. And then since then, like, I don't know, he was good at Alabama, but then he got hurt. He never looked comfortable in an NFL setting. No. He's also small. He's short. He can't see over the line. No. And I don't think Brian Flores thinks that either, because why would he bring in the closer every time? And that's why it's magic.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give up on somebody after 1 year, but I was just watching. I was like, wait a second. What were we thinking? Like, and a part of it is like, you're right. He came in, he was hyped up. They had this number one quarterback prospect, and Alabama usually doesn't get that. He comes in the national championship, saves them. So we just assumed that he was good. And then that was the peak. Like, it never got better than that. So if you're going off right now, Deshaun Watson's still in his prime. It's not like you're shortening Miami's window at all by trading for him, even though Tua is younger. Like, that would still be a huge come up for them to get Deshaun Watson.
I feel like even like the little surgeries he had on his ankles, like ESPN again, like he has fishing line going through his ankle that will hold it together and never sprain again.
Remember that documentation thing they did about just his day-to-day activities? And yes. Alabama would fly him around in a plane to keep his like leg elevated before the national championship because he sprained his ankle.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? It's just that it was the most ridiculous just picture of SEC college athletics I've ever seen. It's him being in a private jet to keep his leg elevated for some reason, for blood circulation or something like that.
It's like the LSU locker room too, where they had the whole video and it's like, this is $48 million and they can take naps here and they have everything they want. And then like regular students at LSU were like showing videos of the library and they're like, our library is flooded and we have 7 books.
Yeah, I do remember that. They're like, the state-of-the-art LSU locker room. It's face recognition to get in, and once you do, if you the machines wipe your ass for you. Yeah. And the kids were like, we don't have pencils.
That's SEC football.
SEC country, baby. We're not here for a fucking education.
What the fuck you need a football or a pencil for? Yeah, coach. I don't need a pencil.
We're here for Nick Saban to get paid and Paul Feinbaum to talk about it. And if you don't like it, go screw yourself and watch the Pac-12.
Go up north, you fucking Yankee.
That's exactly how it goes. So, yeah, Deshaun to Miami.
And Tua to Texas.
And Tua to Texas. To Houston. There you go. All right. Speaking of LSU and SEC, I think some names from those teams are going to come up. Vince, let's bring you in. It's time for the TikTok session of this podcast. We have 2 tonight. Very special show. TikTok famous. So the first one we're doing is top 5 players we'd like our teams to select in this year's NFL draft. The other one we're doing is top 3 destinations for J.J. Watt, a teammate of Deshaun Watson. So would you guys, I'm chomping at the bit to do this college one, but let me know if you guys want to start with Watt. It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter to me either. I just want to make sure, are we counting down like 5 to 1 or are we just naming 5 players?
I would. Well, are you just gonna randomly? Nah, just do it like
Well,
5
'cause I
to
have the
1.
5. It's like, but is it going to go from the guy? I'm like, okay, if they draft him to the guy, like, yeah, I want.
1 should be the one that you want the most. 5 should be the guy like I would be happy. I would be content is 5. 3, I would be happy. 1, I'm over the moon. This is the guy I wanted.
Got it. Yeah, let's do college first. Let's do our draft.
Cool. And Vince,
Welcome,
you're
Vince. Hello.
hello, Vince. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
I've been pulling up tweets all episode. I'm reading a biography while I'm talking here.
Always working hard, Vince.
Yeah. All right. So are we going to do our normal triangle? Me, Kevin, Vince?
Do it.
Works for me. All right. Let me do mine because I want to do an honorable mention real quick. Penei Sewell from Oregon, the tackle. He's my honorable mention because I don't think he'll be there at 6, so I don't have expectations. If he gets past the Bengals, they are morons. So my actual 5 is Zach Wilson. If we're going to do this quarterback thing again, it'd be an admission of failure with the Hurts pick, but he would be the guy that I would want quarterback-wise. I did see multiple reports today. Scouts have him graded higher than Trevor Lawrence. A few scouts have him graded higher than Trevor Lawrence. Swear to God.
They pull me back in.
They pull me back in. We're getting the Steelers draft.
Here we go. All right, at number 5 for me, a guy I would love on the team, somebody who has been mentioned to the Dallas Cowboys, but someone they don't need. But if they got him, he would be another weapon. It's Kyle Pitts. I think he's going to be a great tight end. They don't need him. They have Jarwin. Schultz had a good year this year. So that's why I have him at 5. So wouldn't hate it, but I don't think they need it. Kyle Pitts, 5.
Cool.
Number 5, I have Devontae Smith. I mean, we need the weapons. You know, he's obviously a good one, and the mock draft, Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
They had him slip into the Vikings, and wouldn't it just be perfect?
It would. And he had the Eagles taking Kyle Pitts. So it has come full circle with our picks here right now. But yeah, him going to the Vikings to pair up with Justin Jefferson, I don't think the Nova Care complex would be still standing the next day. All right. At 4, let's just keep it going. I also have Devontae Smith. So just looking at his stats, it's hard to people don't like his frame, but it's hard to argue with production. 23 touchdowns last year. I mean, that's insane. That's ridiculous. So we talk about it all the time. We talk about it with the Ravens. Just pick players who can fucking play. That's it.
Long arms, baby. All right. For me, at 4, somebody you already picked. I don't think he's going to get past the Bengals either, or you guys, but I have seen him dropping to 10. Penei Sewell. We saw what happened with the Cowboys losing both their tackles this year. Tyron Smith's getting older. They're going to have to replace him. And we know how the Dallas Cowboys built their teams that were successful in the last couple of years. It was drafting that offensive line, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, getting Lyle Collins. So they need to start to rebuild that line. So if he is there at 10, you have to put in the card.
Fair.
Number 4, another weapon I think would help the team, Jamar Chase. It's another SEC receiver. I think just build up that. You need someone to just make this, someone to throw to. There's no one to throw to.
I have an idea where this is going with you.
No, you don't.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. At 3, I have Patrick Surtain. The cornerback position for the Eagles has been disastrous for so many years. It'd be great to pair him alongside Darius Slay until Slay is too old to do it anymore and Surtain takes over as the number 1 cornerback, and they can finally have a sturdy number 1 cornerback. Honorable mention, Caleb Farley. I just like his name. That he will be good because of name.
So 3 for me, Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech.
Great pick.
I have him at 3 because I gotta be honest. I haven't seen him play much football. He was out this year, opted out due to COVID. Don't love that, but he's tall, he's lengthy. Everything I've seen film wise, he's good. I just have never watched a full game of him, so I'm a little weary. But I do like the name too, like you said. So I'm going to put Farley, not Chris, Caleb, at 3, cornerback, Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so I do like your name test theory, especially for like, I feel like GMs a lot of the times draft based off names. So at number 3, I have Jalen Mayfield, tackle from Michigan. Just feel like this is a guy Howie might like based off last year's draft.
I see why that could be someone he could like. Very fair. All right. So at my number 2, I have Michael Parsons. Team Micah. Everyone knows this has been my guy for weeks at a time. He's a generational linebacker talent, can play sideline to sideline like how you want. We just saw what Devin White did in the Super Bowl. People have compared him to Luke Kuechly. He's all over the field. He is my guy. We'll see if they pull the trigger. They've been ignoring linebacker for so long. I don't know if they can keep doing it, but I also don't know if they'll use a first-round pick. If I were in charge, that's who I would go with.
Number 2 for me, going back to the offensive line, offensive tackle from Northwestern, Rashawn Slater. Some scouts have him actually graded higher than Sewell from Oregon. There's a chance that he is there. I've seen a lot of mocks with the Cowboys taking them, and for all the reasons I said before about rebuilding this line, I have him at 2.
At number 2, I have edge rush from Miami, Jalen Phillips. Just another guy I feel like Howie might have on his radar.
Wonder why.
Uh,
Oh, my goodness. All right. At number 1, I have Jamar Chase. Like I said, I'd love to go with Micah, but I don't think you can ignore the wide receiver position at all. You messed up on Justin Jefferson. This kid's supposed to be better than Justin Jefferson. As a sophomore, he had 84 receptions for 20 touchdowns and almost 1,800 yards. He tore people apart as a 19-year-old. He is the best receiver in this draft. He was the best receiver on the field that day in that LSU-Alabama game with 8 different NFL receivers. If you messed up on Justin Jefferson, please do not do it again with his counterpart who might even be better than he is.
Please no. But if that does come to fruition, my number 1 pick will be guarding him for the next 8 years in Patrick Surtain from Alabama, quarterback. Put him on the other side of Trayvon Diggs. They played together at Alabama. They could play together in Dallas. Dallas needs to rebuild the secondary just as bad as they need to rebuild their offensive line. I like how he plays. Some people don't love him. He has been kind of regarded like another Trayvon Diggs graded out-wise. Don't love that because Trayvon has been up and down, but I do think he has a high ceiling as well as Surtain. I think Surtain is better than Diggs, but you put those guys back together, and he's guarding Jamar Chase for the next 8 to 10 years.
Nope. That game did not go.
No.
At number 1, I have Jalen Waddle. Just another guy. We need those weapons, and he checks all the boxes. Howie likes the name. Another receiver. The 2 things we need. Another Jalen and a receiver.
Nothing else really matters.
You better watch out. The Raiders might jump up ahead of you and draft him.
Yeah.
True. He was like the 4th best receiver on his team, so the Raiders might want him.
The Raiders might want him, yeah.
Can we talk about him real quick, too, in that national championship? Like, I get that. Why did they even put him out there?
I know. He was weeks away from millions of dollars, and they have this kid out there looking like a deer that got hit by a car.
It's like, what do you do? And every professional athlete was tweeting, like, get off the field.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's not like you sprained your ankle. He broke his freaking leg. Like, badly. He
this
left
is not the Super Bowl with T.O. where you already have millions of dollars.
They were up 31-7 or whatever it was. Like, they were destroying Ohio State, and he's out there. They took him when he got hurt against Tennessee. They took him away in an ambulance and rushed him to the hospital for his broken leg. And then he was playing in December. Why? What are you doing?
I remember that too. That was the opening kickoff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Injury prone. So, yes, again, he'd be perfect for the Eagles.
Emphasis on the Waddle.
Emphasis on the Waddle, yeah. So he was doing out there. All right, so those are our picks for our teams. I guarantee it's not the last time that we talk about it, and I guarantee I will talk myself into 5 more players each week. So stay
Except for
tuned.
Micah. Micah will be there throughout.
Michael will be there until he's not there. And he'll get picked at 5, or we won't pick him and he'll go at 7.
I do want to have an
in-between on
episode where we discuss Micah Parsons as a person because I've heard a lot of bad things.
I can vouch for it. I have a great story. When we do that, I will tell a fantastic story.
Okay.
Just as we grew up same part of the woods, so I've heard some things too. But I do have some good stories.
That's what I like to hear. Win me over.
We'll do that closer to draft time.
Yep. Perfect.
All right.
Where's JJ Watt going?
Let's just get right into it. At 3, I have the Steelers.
Hold on. This is completely unrelated to this podcast. I don't know if any of you got this update I just got. Fernando Tatis just signed a 14-year deal.
Yeah, I had heard something that was going to come. He's like 14.
Years, yeah, 14 years, $340 million, and he's going to be like 30 when it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good for the Padres.
Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers. Number 3, I have the Steelers. That's it.
3 for me. I have the Steelers as well. Play with his 2 other brothers and do something no 3 brothers have ever done before. Go same team together and go try and win a Super Bowl.
Number 3, I have the Steelers. That team's going to have so many watts, it's going to be a light bulb.
You're done.
My girlfriend giggled across the room.
No. You cannot criticize Kevin for being old and then use a dad joke like that.
Thank you.
Doesn't work that way. You can only have one or the other.
Thank you. I'm in the old people walking crew too.
That group text that you sent us did not help your case. For us coming on here and always calling you old and then being in a group text called old people.
Old people walking crew.
Old people walking. Because that's all they can do. It's not like they can power lift or play basketball.
Power lift, baby.
All right.
2.
Back to it. JJ Watt at 2. I have the Steelers. So like you mentioned, I'm sure LeVar Ball is salivating at the idea of the Watt brothers all getting to play together. It'd be perfect for them. So at 2, I have the Steelers.
2, I have the Packers come on home to Wisconsin, play with Aaron Rodgers, and help get that team over the hump and win a goddamn NFC championship game.
Number 2, I have not Houston. It's anywhere else.
31 other places would be better than Houston.
Can you imagine if he went back and just signed a massive deal?
How funny would that be if they welched on it and they're like, wait a second, we also hold on, we wanted you back. Given what Houston does, who knows?
Maybe they let him play quarterback. They trade Deshaun away and be like, listen, do you want to play quarterback?
We need somebody. Because Tua's not going to get it done. Yeah. We know that. No. He'll be the guy who comes in for Tua this year. Bad Castle, yeah. All right. And at 1, I have the Steelers. This is so fucking easy. Lock it up. There's no other options. This is Steelers. You play for a contender and play with your 2 brothers and play in a city with the steel curtain where you would be. He is the perfect embodiment of the 2020 version of the steel curtain. For a team that is now getting labeled soft, everyone labels him as the hard ass. It would be the perfect fit. This is so easy. Steelers at 3, Steelers at 2, Steelers at 1.
For number 1, the Dallas Cowboys. Stay in Texas. You love Texas. Your family lives in Texas. There is no state income tax. Bring some goddamn fucking grit and anger to this defensive line, right? Break up the goddamn hot boys and show these boys how to fucking actually play defense and just go hit people in the mouth. Thank you.
I don't think he's ever going to do that. Number 1, I have not Houston. Just that team is just so bad. We were talking about this. We're going to do a list of worst 5 franchise. Actually, we weren't talking about this. I just mentioned it. But worst 5 franchises of all time. Houston, I think, is going to be high on that list. He just needs to get out of Houston. I can't believe
you've only been watching football for like 4 years, though, since you're so young. So you don't miss you forget some really bad teams.
Yeah, but Houston's been bad for their entire existence. They've been around for 20 minutes.
I guess you don't remember Matt Schaub.
I remember Matt Schaub.
What, on the Falcons or starting for the Texans?
The Texans.
Yeah, the pick 6 every week. Isn't he the career leader in pick 6s?
I think so.
It doesn't help the case for Houston.
No.
It was just a random fact, but it doesn't help. All right, so those are our picks.
Oh, can you imagine playing for the Falcons and the Texans in your career?
Oh my God, that's nauseating.
Oh, God. Vince, you got anything else before we kick you out of here and close this show up?
I do not.
Okay, bye.
I don't really have anything either. I'm going to go back to watching college football.
So Steelers,
Steelers, man. I'll say one last thing. The Falcons pick at 4, so I'm very excited for whoever I want to end up on the Falcons at pick 4. Without any doubt in my mind, that's going to happen.
They're gonna take Jamar Chase and then trade back up into the first round at 5 and then take Micah.
Them needing pretty much every piece that isn't receiver, it'd be very spot on for them to be like, pull the old Cowboys and be like, let's just have 3 really good receivers. We can't block anyone. We have no running backs. Our defense is atrocious. And our quarterback, we don't know how much longer he's going to be here. But we have some pretty damn good wide receivers. Could absolutely see Atlanta doing that.
Falcon's gonna Falcon. All right. Hopefully by next week, we will have Quincy Carter here, former Dallas Cowboy, if Texas gets their power back. Week after that, we have another big guest that we will tease next week. But yeah, I am very excited with all the news that could break within the next week. And if something does break, look out for a mini episode. You never know when those drop for Birds vs. Boys, sometimes on a Friday, sometimes on a Saturday. Hey, maybe whenever we feel like it. Mini episodes with breaking news. But hey, Carson, good luck to you, my friend. Dak, we'll see. Drink stateside vodka. Follow us on Instagram. No, we're not on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter.
That's the only social media you could have done any other social media.
I love that. There's
Great
our
ending.
intro, ladies and gentlemen.
Follow us on
There it is.
Instagram.
I'm around.